One of the biggest pieces of confusion in the minds of marketers or potential marketers is the difference between sales and marketing. Now, this can easily be resolved, and I'll take the help of a story. I call it the story of two hunters. So there is hunter A and there's hunter B. And hunter A has been tasked with going to a forest. His boss calls him and tells him, go into that forest, go and hunt a deer for me. And he gives him a quiver, a container of 10 arrows. Hunter A is a very conscientious type of guy. He's very energetic, he's very passionate, and he's a good marksman. He goes into the forest and he finds the forest is dark. But there's no time to lose. He's a dynamic man. He goes straight into the forest. He sees something stirring in the leaves. He pulls out an arrow, puts it in the bow, and he lets go. But there's nothing. He gets no result. He does this on the basis of some intuition. In that dark forest, because there's nothing else to do, he looks for the deer and he tries to get it. Finally, he gets one deer and he comes back to his boss and he says, boss, I've got this deer. And the boss says, congratulations. So the conversion rate now is 10%. 10 arrows, one deer from one arrow. The conversion rate is 10%. Now there's hunter B. He has another boss. His boss has the same goal. He gives him a quiver of 10 arrows and tells him to go into that same dark forest. But hunter B is a different kind of person. Hunter B is not a great marksman. Hunter B is in fact not all that energetic either. He's more of the thinking type. He's a bit of a lazy kind. He goes into the forest and first he sees the constraint. He says, oh God, this forest is dark. What do I do? Then he pulls out an arrow and he waits. And he says, there's no point shooting this arrow because I can't see a thing. He puts the arrow back in. Then he looks, he finds that the forest floor is sloping towards one side and he goes in that direction. When he goes in that direction, he sees a water body. He says, this is good. The deer will come here to have the water and I'll take my pick, I'm going to shoot. And that's exactly what happens. There's a little flock that comes over there. They go to the water. He pulls out an arrow. But remember I said, he's not a very good marksman. He hasn't been practicing too hard. Slightly lazy. First arrow he misses. Second arrow he misses. But finally, he gets 3 deer. The conversion rate this time is 30%. So what's happened in the first case and what's happened in the second is, the first one was sales and the second one was marketing. This man understood the behavior of the deer that will seek water, the deer's motivation. He figured out the mind of the deer. He went to that water body and he shot. So he actually got him in a place where he had figured out his movement. The first one did sales. He went and he shot. But the story doesn't end here because they both their bosses, one boss is a sales head, the other boss is a marketing head. Both of them have a boss called sales and marketing head. The sales and marketing head called these two bosses, boss A and boss B, and said, please explain your performance. Boss A justified his performance, boss B justified his performance. The sales and marketing head then said, I'll tell you what the solution is. Both of you will work together. You will go into the forest. This guy is good at figuring out the mind of the target. That guy is good at shooting and going for the kill. And that's the difference between sales and marketing. Marketing is all about figuring out the human motivation, which often resides actually in the subconscious mind. It need not be a literal piece of, an attribute where he says, this is the reason why people buy. The reason could actually be at the back of the mind. And so this really tells you about the difference between sales and marketing. Sales is about going for a target where the target has presented itself. Marketing is making the target present itself.